Hey there, after last night's lightning storm, or whatever you want to call it, storm, I do this a lot. I read my Bible every day, or I try to, but sometimes I go online and search for words, and so I put in storm, and I read through all these, and then I came to this one, Isaiah 25:4. For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is a storm against the wall. And what caught my eye was this, terrible ones. So I started to do a search on that. See what I came up with. So, terrible ones is in 3 verses. Isaiah 25:4, for thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. Isaiah 25:5, thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. Isaiah 29:5. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly. So, what I did here was, I just went into the tools here. And looking for the terrible ones is Strong's H6184. It's an adjective, kind of like the dark ones, or the evil ones, or the terrible ones. I don't know.
Strong's H6184. Aritz.
Aritz. And the King James Version translates Strong's 6184 in the following manner: terrible, terrible one, 5 times. Oppressor, mighty, power, strong, and violent. Outline of biblical usage is awe-inspiring, terror-striking, awesome, terrifying, ruthless, and mighty. So Strong's definition for Aritz, H6206, is fearful, for example, powerful or tyrannical, mighty, oppressor, and great power, strong, terrible, violent. And Jessenius Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon, with Kemet, impure, for adjective ends for terrifying, causing fear, hence very powerful, used of God, Jeremiah 20:11, of powerful nations, Isaiah 25:3. In a bad sense, violent, fierce, violent nations. And it's, let's see, I'll have to look up that H6206, because the Strong's number H6184 matches the Hebrew Aretz, which occurs 20 times in 20 verses in the Hebrew Concordance of the King James Version. So we're going to check this out, because it says it's from this word here, H6206. Aretz.
Strong's H6206. Aretz. Arats.
And
Second entry. Ma'aritz. Ma'aritz.
okay, 15 times in the King James translation, and they translate it for using afraid, fear, dread, terribly, break, affrighted, oppressed, prevail, terrified. Outline of biblical uses: to tremble, dread, fear, oppress, prevail, break, be terrified, cause to tremble, quail. To cause to tremble, terrify, to tremble, feel dread. Nifal, to be awesome, be terrible. Hifil, to regard or treat with awe, regard or treat as awful, to inspire with awe or terrify. Strong's definitions. Arats, a primitive root to awe or intransitive to dread, hence to harass, be affrighted, afraid, dread, feared, terrified, break, dread, fear, oppress, prevail, shake terribly. To terrify, to cause terror or trembling. To tremble as the skin, a trembling spear. Perhaps thou wilt terrify thy enemies, wilt put them in fear. To resist, which comes from the same idea. The ancient interpreters expressed, thou mayest become more strong, wilt strengthen thyself. Entrance, to tremble, to fear. Followed by at anyone, followed by nifal, part, terrible, dreadful. Hifil, cusset, to put fear in, to put in fear, to fear, followed by an derivatives. Let's see. From the root part hif, that which causes reverential fear. Wow. Strong's H26 matches the Hebrew arats, which occurs 15 times in 15 verses.
Strong's definition H6206. Arats, arats, a primitive root, to awe or, intransitive, to dread, hence, to harass, be affrighted, afraid, dread, feared, terrified, break, dread, fear, oppress, prevail, shake terribly. Strong's number H6206 matches the Hebrew. Arats, which occurs 15 times in 15 verses in the Hebrew concordance of the KJV, Deuteronomy 1:29 KJV. Then I said unto you, dread not, neither be afraid of them. Deuteronomy 7:21 KJV. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God, and terrible. Deuteronomy 23. And shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies, let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be terrified because of them. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong, and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee, he will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Joshua 1:9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong, and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Job 13:25. Wilt thou break a leaf driven to and fro? And wilt thou pursue the dry stubble? Job 31:34. Did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence, and went not out of the door? Psalm 10:18. To judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Psalm 89:7. God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be had in reverence of all them that are about him. Isaiah 2:19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for fear of the Lord, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth, to shake terribly the earth. Isaiah 2:21. To go into the clefts of the rocks, and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth, to shake terribly the earth. Isaiah 8:12. Say ye not, a confederacy, to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. Isaiah 8:13 Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. Isaiah 29:23 But when he seeth his children, the work of mine hands, in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the God of Israel. Isaiah 47:12 Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, where thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit. A storm is coming for the terrible one's text-to-speech of all the Bible verses and definitions found in the video. Strong's definition and Eretz, A.W. reads from H. 6206, fearful, i.e. powerful or tyrannical, mighty, oppressor, in great power, strong, terrible, violent. Strong's number H. 6184 matches the Hebrew. Eretz, which occurs 20 times in 20 verses in the Hebrew concordance of the KJV Job 6:23 or, deliver me from the enemy's hand, or, redeem me from the hand of the mighty. Job 15:20 The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. Job 27:13 This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. Psalm 37:35 I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Psalm 54:3 Strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul, they have not set God before them. Selah. Psalm 86:14 O God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. Proverbs 11:16 A gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong men retain riches. Isaiah 13:11 And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Isaiah 25:3 Therefore shall the strong people glorify thee, the city of the terrible nations shall fear thee. Isaiah 25:4 For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. Isaiah 25:5 Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers, as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud, the branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low. Isaiah 29:5 Moreover the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away, yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly. Isaiah 29:24 The terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Isaiah 49:25 But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered, for I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children. Jeremiah 15:21 And I will deliver thee out of the hand of the wicked, and I will redeem thee out of the hand of the terrible. Jeremiah 20:11 But the Lord is with me as a mighty terrible one, therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail, they shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten. Ezekiel 28:7 Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Ezekiel 30:11 He and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw their swords against Egypt, and fill the land with the slain. Ezekiel 31:12 And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off, and have left him, upon the mountains, and in all the valleys his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land, and all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow, and have left him. Ezekiel 32:12 By the swords of the mighty will I cause thy multitude to fall, the terrible of the nations, all of them, and they shall spoil the pomp of Egypt, and all the multitude thereof shall be destroyed. Strong's definition H. 6206. Eretz, A.W.